Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday afternoon, fifth period here at KIT Iizuka. It is April 10th for English 7C. Let's take a look at the Moodle that we have for this week. All right. Sorry. ちょっと待ってね。ちょっと待って。あ、僕がちゃんとね、付き合ってました。OK。OK。Sorry about this. Okay, sorry about that. I just forgot if I was actually recording or not. All right, if you haven't yet come to our Moodle you will find on the dashboard has this logo. It's the one that looks like a picture of a bridge. And underneath it, it'll actually say 7C. So make sure that you have that in your computer. I suggest you put that on your iPad if you have an iPad. But most of all, I suggest you actually put it on your phone. If something goes wrong with your computer, you can at least still use your phone. So on your computer and on your phone, register your Moodle and register to get in here. Now, this 7C class, as you can see, has a lot of students in it. Actually, I don't like to count how many. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46. Okay, there are a lot of students in this class. There are supposed to be only 35. Now, I said to the bookstore, okay, some students want to come into this class. We can make it 40. Now, 40. Now, some students have already asked me to be coming into this class, and the bookstore said okay to some students. So it will probably be more than 40. Maybe 42. So I'm sorry, but not all of you can join this class. So if you have already bought a textbook, then you will be able to join this class. The last 37 to 42 students are the ones who have not yet bought a textbook. And I will explain later in Japanese how we'll figure that out. In any case, I'm sorry, I just want to apologize right now that not all of you will be able to take this class. However, this is the class for the first semester for Wednesday, fifth period. Now, if you have an open space, I will also do this class in the second semester from October in the fourth and fifth period. So if you can come to that class, if you cannot come to this class, you can try to enter those classes. And if you think, oh, I already bought the book, but maybe next semester is better, then hang on to the book and register into that class too. If you have any questions about it, you can come talk to me. In any case, 46 students right now, sorry, no, it will only be about 42, okay? Well, I'll figure that out later once we get more into the class. Okay, most of you are already second-year students, so you probably already know this, but in Moodle, okay, I already have most of our schedule laid out from class 1 all the way to class 2, all the way down to the end of the class, class 15, which is July 24th. The last class, which will be on July 31st, okay, that is an option class, and you don't have to come to that class. Okay? But I'll explain all of that as we go on through. But basically what I'm telling you is you can see our schedule and all of our assignments here. Okay? Now, if you haven't figured this out yet, it's much better to scroll on the left-hand side. You scroll on the left-hand side, you can quickly move on the class. If you scroll on the right-hand side, it takes way too long. Scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Okay? So I don't suggest that. Also, too, last year's Moodle, I made some changes. And on the right-hand side, now you can also access the calendar and also some other things on here on the right-hand side. But I think that's very convenient, being able to see the calendar. on here. This week on class 1, actually, let's make this like a student. No, student mode. Okay. Actually, let's talk about this. How many people raise your hand if you already have the textbook? I have the textbook. Raise your hand. Okay. I don't have the textbook. Raise your hand. Okay. If you don't have the textbook yet, probably you will not get into this class. Sorry. There are only going to be 7 people who will be able to get into this class after the 35. It was only supposed to be 35. I'm very surprised. Some people really wanted to get into this class. Okay, so without this textbook and without talking to me, you will probably not get into this class. You're welcome to stay, but if you haven't talked to me, if you have not sent an email, and you don't have the textbook, probably you can't get into this class. So if you want to go, you can go. Okay, I'm not mad. I'm just telling you, you don't have to stay. Okay, all right. This week is April 10th, and I want to do a few things. And you will have only one assignment. Okay, it's this one right here, the reflection. Now, for those of you, this is another thing I want to ask you. If you have ever taken my class before, 7D or last year, 1C or 5C, if you have ever taken my class before, raise your hand. About 25%. Okay. This class will not be very different from my other classes. It's almost the same. Maybe that's why some of you want to take this class, because you think it's easy. And that's okay. But it will not be very different. So if you're thinking, well, maybe Cruz will do something different in 7C than he did in 5C, no, it's going to be the same. And I'll explain why a little bit later. But the content of this class will be a little different because the textbook is different. But generally, what we will do is speak and speak and speak and speak and speak. I'll explain about that later too, but I will not change the way that I teach. The way that I teach is about teaching you to speak English. I don't want to teach you any more vocabulary. You don't need any more grammar. You don't need anything else. You have a lot of English, but you have to make it come out your face. That's what we're going to do in class. But sometimes I will give you assignments. So for example, this week's assignment is called a reflection. And a reflection basically is a question that I want you to answer. I want you to think about it and then make an answer in English. Okay? So this week's reflection is simple. I just want you to write 2 or 3 sentences to say hello to me. Hello, Mr. Cruz. My name is Taro. I don't like English. I hate English, but I need this class. That's fine. At least you're honest. Now, 2 or 3 sentences should take you about 6 or 10 words. At least 6 or 10 words. I want you to take this opportunity, though, to think to yourself. The problem with English is how much you do it. If you look at me, if you look at my assignment, you say, 2 or 3, okay, no problem. I like English. How are you? I am fine. Yeah, okay. That's not really going to teach you much English. That's not going to teach you much English. But if you learn to tell yourself, I want to do more, I want to write more, I want to learn more, then yeah, go ahead. 5 sentences, 10 sentences. Tell me about your problems in English. Ask me a question. It's up to you. One thing I don't want you to do, though, okay, is I don't want you to pretend that your English is someone else's English. So, Google Translate, DeepL, ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, Bing, Poe. Those are really amazing software tools. We will use them in this class. I want you to learn how to use them. After this class, you will use them. You will use them as much as you use an electronic dictionary like a Casio or a Canon. 20 years ago, a Casio or a Canon was amazing. And some teachers said, no, no Casio, no Canon in my class. Now you have to have one. 30 years ago, you couldn't use an electronic calculator for your test. And now you must use an electronic calculator for your test. We have to learn technology, but do not just type something into DeepL in Japanese, get the English, and then show me that and say, I wrote this, Mr. Cruz. No, I can tell when you did it. And so this year, I want to do these reflections a little bit differently. Last year, you just typed directly into the field. This year, what I want you to do, when you add a submission, is I want you to take a piece of paper, A4, B5, and I want you to write the answer here. Nicely so I can read it, good English writing. Write it on paper, take a picture with your phone, then send that into the drag and drop. Okay. Last year, a lot of students basically just went to DeepL, wrote something in Japanese, copy pasted that into my assignment. Some of you still might, but at least this way you have to write it. It's a little bit of an exercise. We'll have a long talk in this class about ChatGPT, the world after ChatGPT, English study after ChatGPT. That's not for today. But I think you know what I mean when I'm asking you. I'm telling you, I use ChatGPT. I use DeepL. But I use them to help me learn how to speak Japanese. I do not pretend that my Japanese is so good when it comes out of ChatGPT. Okay? So that's your only assignment this week, because some people will come, some people will go, some people will change classes, so I did not make any big assignments. If you think you don't want to take this class, then you don't have to do that assignment, of course. But if you're going to take this class, please make sure that you have that assignment and all of the assignments afterwards. Every week we have a reflection. Reflection number 2, reflection number 3, reflection number 4. Every week that I want you to write this. Every week that reflection is due on Friday. We also have vocabulary quizzes, grammar quizzes, and we have, speaking, not assignment, speaking assignment. We have listening quizzes, we have speaking assignments. This class is designed to make you do a little bit during the week every time. A little bit of writing, a little bit of thinking about grammar, a lot of vocabulary study, but in the class, we speak and speak and speak and speak. So the best way to study English is a little bit every day, 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Is much better than 2 hours on Sunday, 90 minutes on Saturday. That's not so good. It's better to study a little bit every day, so everything is designed to have a due date on Friday, sometimes Sunday, sometimes Tuesday, so a little bit every day. Okay? Does anyone have any questions? No? All right. I think that was, oh, there was one more thing. Let me see if I have it here. I got to change this to my normal roll. If not, it'll be in 1C. Come on. There we go. If, nah, okay. I'll show you the one I made in 1C, and then it'll be the same for you guys. So this is actually my 1C course, but that's okay. It's going to be the same for you. If, for some reason, like a typhoon, or if the train stopped, I don't know why, maybe there's a flood, a lot of heavy rain. If there's no class, okay, I will put on the Moodle something like this. Class will be online via Zoom today. So then you can stay in your house, you can stay in your room, go into Zoom, and then we can have the class. I will be there and I will be talking to you. Probably it will be a little shorter than usual, but we can still have the class. I will still take attendance. Now, just one thing about this. The university, until now, used Zoom for all of its online classes. But starting this year, they want to use more Microsoft Teams. Now, me, for April until August, I'm using Zoom. But probably by 2025, next year, all teachers have to use Microsoft Teams. But for now, I'm using Zoom. So if there's a problem with the class, if there's a typhoon, if the train stop, check the Moodle that morning or the day before. And if you see this, then you just have to click this and go into my class. However, make sure that when you go into Zoom, that you put in your Zoom username, Zoom password, then click this. Okay? If you do it without putting in your Zoom account information, you cannot come into my class. Well, the order is first, put in your username and password into Zoom, then click the link. Okay? Oh, one more thing. I will do this every week. Okay? I will make you write your names every week. Please make sure that you write your names only in class. If you forget and you come to me next week, oh, Mr. Cruz, I'm sorry, I forgot to sign my name last week. Say, that's too bad. It has to be on the same day. Also, write only your name. Don't write his name, don't write her name, only your name for that day for yourself. Okay? Okay, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, then. Thank you very much. You will find my email on the Moodle. It's jdmcruz@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you can email me. After this English explanation, then I'll be able to explain a little bit more in Japanese to you. But if you ever have any questions, you can always come to me after class or sometimes even during class if you raise your hand and ask me any question you like. Okay, let's have a good class, everyone.